The toast to South Africa this evening comes from Director of the Old Boys Association, another wonderful stalwart old boy, Glen Corlett.
Mr. Reeler, our headmaster, Mr. Jackman, our distinguished guest, fellow distinguished guests, and fellow old boys. 34 years ago, I matriculated from this great institution, coming away with an E for English. So for me, it's a moorse pleasure to be able to give a toast to South Africa this evening. This last week, I thought best I sort of sit down and start to put a couple of thoughts together as what I'm going to say this evening. So Wednesday evening, I sat by myself with a very large glass of brown Fanta because I needed to get quite a bit of inspiration to cover this subject. The first word that came to mind was bliksem. Because where do you actually start to talk about this animal or this big thing, South Africa? And a couple of thoughts went through my mind. Do I cover the politics? Do I cover the economy? Or do I look at the sport, religion, whatever it might be? And lost my track here. But there's a lot of negatives that are around, and it's always in our face. And then I looked at the positives, of which there are a couple. The one thing is now I can pronounce Nkandla. Sorry. We normally braai on weekends, so now during the week sometimes when the power goes off, I say to my gorgeous wife, ons gaan nou braai, which is another good thing. But then I thought about the subject of making a difference. And I thought, how does kippy little me, just the common man from Boys High, how can I make a difference to this big wheel of South Africa? And having just sort of slightly changed career as one does at the age of 50, I've been exposed to a couple of other ideas in life. And one of them is what I can classify as a pyramid scheme, but not a normal pyramid scheme. It's a pyramid scheme of goodness. There's been a book that's been written about it. There's a movie that's out, and it's become a sort of global organization. And it's called Pay It Forward. Pay It Forward is a very simple system in which you conscientiously go out and you do a kind deed or a random act of kindness. And you conscientiously decide you're going to go out and do this good deed to 3 people, either weekly or in a month. But whilst doing that deed, instead of being reimbursed, you talk to the recipient about paying it forward. And you get them in turn to do a good turn to 3 other people. And so this goodness sort of spreads throughout. I'm not saying we need to go around Pretoria and giving hugs to every car guard, but you just got to try and slowly, cumulatively, I think all these small, random acts of kindness can make this, our rainbow nation, South Africa, a better place to be. Gentlemen, that concludes my toast to South Africa. If you can please all be upstanding. To our rainbow nation, South Africa.